So the traffic light button. So what is you have to using for traffic lights button? There is also we are using technology. Traffic signals. There is a tactile response on human beings obviously really alike. I had the pleasure of being in Belgium recently with Bill Thompson from the BBC, and he was on a panel with me, and he had an iPhone, iPad, a MacBook Air, and a piece of paper, and something else. He was moving between screens. There are so many options here: iPhone, iPod, MacBooks, e-paper, everything here. I watched him attempt to make the screen on the MacBook Air work like the iPod, and I kind of realized that actually the thing that's interesting is that people don't know how to change gears. So definitely here the people they wanted to know how to change this technology. There are so many gears, so many things are available. So which is useful to us, which is not useful to us, which is good to us, which is bad to us. Definitely we must realize all these technologies which are very helpful to us. So people who are using such things then go attempt to touch everything the same way. There is a kind of intuitive, I have just banged on my laptop and I'm waiting for something to happen, or I have just touched my Kindle or iPhone or the phones or whatever it is. So nowadays you have to use your fingers, you may lock your everything. Lock your phone, lock your apps, everything you have to use this only using your finger. And I think all of you know these things very well. My favorite example is watching people stand in front of ATM machines and bang on the glass because it makes so much sense for people when they go for glass. So many people they're watching, they're standing at the standing before an ATM, automatic teller machine. So then we have to use digital. Digital ATM means here we have to use we're touching the screen. There's a glass of screen, but they are most probably many of the people when the ATMs are started in the country, mm, they are, they have hesitation to touch the screen. Right? To touch the operation of ATM, if the money is went off to anybody's account or different sorts of ideas. But nowadays, everything we have to using only digital platforms. Many transactions are only through digital platforms. I have heard people talk to a lot of consumers in the UK over the past couple of years, and anyone who has got digital TV stuff there has an enormous anxiety about the red buttons on their remote control. There are some red buttons in the over your remotes of your televisions. What are these red buttons? How to use? In UK also 2 years back, maybe 2010, they are thinking about these red buttons. It is very odd thing. The red button basically pushes them into paved wall garden environment where it's not clear what's going on, what's going to happen. So they don't know what's going to happen when we touch the red button. So people have this real interesting anxiety about the red button, and it came up in every interview we did. Oh my God, I don't want to push the red button. So in my interviews, I am asking so many things to the people. So I don't touch the red button because it's very dangerous. And people had strategies about this red button, like tapping over it, so you couldn't push it. It's really quite splendid in terms of managing that. So different people using differently of this more televisions also, particularly about this remotes. Their operations are using remotes. Okay, so now the televisions we have to use televisions like our computing also. You can computing through television also. So that sort of technology is updated. I had a nice one other day about people with their Galaxy phones. They liked the ever so faint vibration that came up when you touched the phone. So there are some different kinds of vibration is also coming from your cell phones, mobiles. So what we call as Galaxy phones. So people are feeling differently at first when the vibration is coming up from the from their mobiles. It is like pushing the elevator button. You want to feel something. They are feeling differently. They want to feel something. I think that faint vibrations is how we really reassert that when you do something, you want to respond to it. I think we will end up seeing this incredible layering of things, standard touch up for some things, haptics for others, voice for another thing, how to use voice messages, how to send your voice messages, to touch the touch phones. There are so many things we have to know how to feel differently. The best analogy I can think of it cars. When you sit in a car, look at all different ways you have to engage with the machine. The wheel for steering, foot pedals for gear changes, acceleration, and braking. It turns out having a knob for windshield wipers doesn't really make sense. If you want to drive a car, if you want to sitting in a car, you identify different kind of items, a steering, accelerator, stop accelerator or brakes, everything we identified. But nowadays, you have don't weigh on these things. These different kinds of cars will also be available without gear, already available in the market. Now, without driver, we have to use these kind of cars. We have the example of the Honey Kitchen computer from 1960s in Neiman Marcus catalog. Honey's Kitchen, Honeywell Kitchen. In the kitchen also you have to use this internet. I think it cost about 10,000 US dollars and 600 US dollars to each to your wife how to program it. So 600 US dollars they were charged to the wives, to the ladies, how to use this, how to the program it. The tagline was, if she can only cook as well as Honeywell can compute. The tagline is, she can only cook, but Honey computing is, the Honeywell kitchen is, the Honeywell can compute. It is so perverse. Of course, not them sold, so many persons were not sold this Honey computing. Every ubiquitous computing conference I had been to do, everyone is doing something in kitchen computing, and none of it was to pay my attention to people actually inhabited kitchens. They're all inhabitants of the kitchens. We want to go to the kitchen and want to do something, your favorite dishes, cook your favorite dishes, and not to using any internet connection, any Honeywell kitchens. Has anything changed since then? This last year, we were working at really early adopters of the iPod, and we found a woman in her house, and what she had done, she had stuck the iPod in a Ziploc bag and stuck it on the kitchen counter and was using it to cook. She wanted to cook a dish. She had an iPhone, so she opened her iPhone and a zip bag and put it on the kitchen counter, and she would like to cook. And I remember thinking it was about kitchen computing. It was about computing you could make come to the kitchen. So if you want to cook new dishes, you have to watch the YouTube channels, and you would like to cook at the as the anchor or what is going on in the YouTube. It was about finding an object that fitted into all things that the kitchen already is, rather than trying to reconfigure the kitchen around the Honeywell kitchen computer. So Honeywell kitchen computer, not even a person is going to the kitchen and cook. Honeywell kitchen computer, if you program it, and automatically they can cook. Automatically the kitchen will cook. But here the persons they are interested to program of Honeywell kitchen. Now they are going to the kitchen and they do their own work. Means they do their own dishes. So they felt happy. That's why it was not going on. Honeywell computing is not. The ubiquitous computing is a part of this. Kitchen computing is also is a part of ubiquitous computing. So all these things. This is the end of our lesson. All these things we identified. One thing is the people. Why people really love technology? There are so many things were available through this technology. That's why generally people are so much interested to follow or to adopt these things. That's why. But what she said is, from the last 10 years in future, how this technology already changed, and how much of technology will be changed in future. Definitely, so this is 2020. She gave her interview in 2010, but now we must in 2030, which type of changes we may expect or not, it is only through your imagination. How can this technology may be changed in the over the next decade? That's end of your second prose lesson. Why people really love technology. Once again, I mentioned the names. Genevieve Bell. The interviewer's name is Alexis C. Madrigal. He introduced Genevieve Bell. Genevieve Bell is an Australian anthropologist and a researcher. Right?